Hey everybody, welcome to the show. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. Welcome one and all to the next show will be better. It's the Hickson Diaries live stream. We're so happy that you are here. Thank you so much for joining me. Another week, another dollar, another dream, another war. Throw it all in the mix. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate it more than you know. We're going to do some open Q&A and community chat stuff later on in the hour. And we're also going to respond to some of your comments to my most recent YouTube video. My life proved that my life in Britain proved that America lied to me. It was you guys had a lot to say. So I just wanted to go over some of the comments that I noticed there, just to add to the discussion. And then, wherever the hour takes us, basically, I want to thank everybody who showed up early. As always, it's so encouraged, and I didn't get a chance to jump on earlier. Sorry, I was making a cup of tea. But I'm so glad that you guys get a chance to converse with each other and get to know each other a little bit better and all of that. So if you would like to join the chat a little bit early, it's usually about 10 minutes or so. People are jumping on early just to get to know each other a little bit better while we're waiting for the stream to start. Basically waiting for me to get my act together. But it is what it is. Thank you. And I always jump on if I can beforehand and just have a little pre-live convo. We're going to get started in a minute, but first I'd like, if you can, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you share the stream with anyone that you think might be interested in joining us, so people know we're live, because we know that YouTube's notifications aren't always the best. But we love YouTube and Google, and they're great. No, sometimes the notifications don't go out. I think there's some kind of filter where you can only do get 3 or 5 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I remember reading something along those lines. So if you could like and share, that would be great. Let people know. Make sure you send in all of your questions, comments, concerns, super chats, and whatever else you're thinking about in the comments. We will get them throughout the show. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. First, we got to start with seeing who is actually here, because you guys know the show only gets better when you're there. So let's find out. Who gets the gold star for being the first person in the chat? Disco, who is really early today. Disco was here mad early, like an hour early. Eager Beaver. Disco really wanted that gold star this week, huh? Thank you so much for being here, Disco. You're awesome. Imogen is here as well. Thank you so much for being here, Imogen. Diane is here. Glad to have you here as well. Richard Wilmot is here. So glad to have you as well, Richard. Watches the tumbleweed. What, as you're waiting for people to show up, or as you're waiting for me to show up? Yeah, I did put this in the chat, but it was a fairly sunny day today. In the afternoon, the morning was shit, in all fairness. Excuse my language, but it was. And of course, now I have a sore throat and an earache again. It's like perpetually sick, dude. This has been a rough winter for me. But anyways, Roy Cousins is here as well. Thank you for being here, Roy. So glad. Like I said, it warmed up a tad, but the sun did come out and there's some blue skies in between the clouds this afternoon. So I did go outside and enjoy that a little bit. But I'm paying the price now because it was deceptively, it looked like it was warmer than it was. So I wore a coat that was zipped, and I did have a jacket on that was zipped, and I had it was zipped to cover my neck, but I still got too cold for me. Disco says I got a bit carried away and came in over an hour ago, and I was listening to some music. That's cool. I appreciate your eagerness. We love having you here. Manny is here. Hello. Manny says, good evening, you lovely lot. Always pleasant and lovely to have you here, Manny. Richard said he had an interesting afternoon with my gas boiler being fixed. At least it got fixed. Manny says, yeah, it's been lovely and sunny here too. I was out this afternoon and it was gorgeous. I don't know about gorgeous, Manny, maybe where you were, but it was still chilly. It wasn't gorgeous, but I wore all black today because I'm in mourning that it's they teased me with spring. Mother Nature has teased me with spring, and it is now chilly and rainy again. Hello, John Craig. Thank you for being here. Just a few people here already. Yeah. Workman turned up at 5:30, Richard said. Oh my God, that's so funny. My partner and I were just talking about how, like, he was waiting for a phone call from the doctor and they gave him the time frame. And I was like, oh, you mean somewhere between like 9 and 6? He said, yeah. And then they'll call it like 5:55 and say they can't do anything. So just like a repairman saying, oh, I can't do anything because it's going to take too long. I'll have to come back. Anyway, I hope it got fixed though, Richard. Manny says, I have to say that in the early to mid afternoon, when driving out in the sun, it's getting higher in the sky so that it doesn't cause a nasty glare like it does in the same time in winter. I don't know. I don't really drive, so I don't know that I ever noticed that, but now I'm going to have to try to take notice, Manny. Neil Morrison is here. Thank you so much for being here, Neil. How are you feeling, Diane? Are you feeling better? I know you were battling last week. Richard says, I'm getting sunshine in the house in the morning. Yeah, we get a little bit of sunshine in the front of the house in the morning, but then it usually gets shaded out either by clouds or by the buildings around us. Roy Cousin says, ready for summer now. Totally feel that, dude. I'm so ready for summer. I was looking, I'm doing this challenge where I'm trying to like get up, do my hair, do my makeup, get dressed. It doesn't have to be like dressy dress, but just like get dressed. Don't just wear leggings and a hoodie with no makeup or whatever. Like actually trying to take care of myself better. And I've noticed that I have a lot of like summer shirts and summer dresses and not so much the equivalent amount for winter. So I feel like I might have to do something about that. All in good time, I guess. Now is the time, right? Do it now as it's getting warmer because all that stuff will be super cheap. Richard said Aylesbury was interesting. What did you do in Aylesbury, Richard? Cullingworth was dull today, John says. Hello, Marja. How are you? Glad to have you, and thank you so much for being here. Yeah, everything's okay. Just sick still, again, whatever. Neil Morrison has been a member for 7 months. Thank you so much, Neil. I so appreciate that. Membership means everything to me, you guys. especially for hanging in there that long with me, because I really don't know what the hell I'm doing, let's be honest. It's so nice of you guys to come along for the ride. I really appreciate it, Neil. Thank you so much for hanging in there for the 7 months for us. John asks, is this a new setup? Yes, this is hopefully the final setup. Hopefully I won't have to change it around again. But we had to get rid of the bed, so I figured I'd take that as an opportunity to make it a little bit more like comfortable for me. I do need to get something for here, which I'm gonna work out. I have something a little bit higher up. I might just move it down. But yeah, this is probably gonna be the new setup. Unless something else happens that we need to figure out. Hopefully this will be permanent. I got all my good stuff. I got my wild turkey, my boomerang, Hickson merch. I got some pictures I got to put up, as you can see. My seashells and scorpion, my dad's flag, got my dad's mug behind me, Hickson merch again, my dad's bracelet, and then a bunch of books that I've read or am in the process of reading, or Tim Curry's book that I have to read yet. But I have a nice little setup. I have some space here. I have a nice little nook over here in the corner where I can do my reading and relax and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel comfortable. I like it. I like that I can see somebody coming in, and it feels like it flows a little bit nicer as well. What do you guys think? Think there's something I need? Do I need to add something or take away? Oh, life is better. Life is better when all of y'all are here. Marcia says, let's rock. I love it. Manny says, incidentally, I watched that video earlier and it was really, really good, but I didn't have to comment yet, but I will. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Manny. I'm not worried about you, Manny. You comment regularly, so you can miss a video here or there if you want. Yeah, there's just a lot. There is a lot of comments. I was reading through them. It was pretty crazy. Remember back when I first started? If any of you have been here for when I first started, and I said I was going to Disco, I think you've been here. I know you've been here for almost that long. Manny's been here a bit as well. Do you remember when I said that I was going to answer every comment? I said that because I had like 4 subscribers, right? And I had like, 25 views or something. And I was like, oh yeah, this is probably going to be the most I ever have anyways. It'll be all right. Anyways. I really do try, and then I get into a funk where the comments start becoming obnoxious, and I just like it gets me in a mood, and then I just don't want to answer comments anymore. I have to, but I have to get back to it. I have to get into a better mindset. If they took the time to comment, I need to be better about getting back to y'all because it's only fair. I know when I comment on someone's video, I feel good even if I just get a heart. Like I'm just like, okay, they at least read it. Then, they actually appreciate the interaction more so than someone who's just going to put up a video and hope for the best. Like for me, as you guys know, for me, it's all about community, right? It's all about building a community and building a space. So I have to give back as much as I'm getting you, and I'm overwhelmed with the amount of feedback that I'm getting. I just have to be in a better mindset about it. I'm letting the people who are rude get to me too much, so I have to fix that. That's something on me though. Oh, Nicola is here. Hello, Nicola. Glad to have you back. Thank you so much. Neil Morrison says, I liked your short about your daughter. Speaking with a different accent at home compared to school or work is quite common. When I was young, we spoke Gaelic at home Scots with pals and English in class. See, that's like I understand that. I get that part of it. Um I guess because it's English, like it's a version of English and a version of English. Because I grew up in a very Latino influenced area, right? The New Jersey. For those of you who don't know, I'm from New Jersey, which is on the East Coast, right, just south of New York City, and it has a heavy Latino population. So a lot of people from Latin and South America, Mexico, are in that vicinity, and also there's an Indian population, a heavy Indian population in New Jersey as well. So I'm used to a lot of people speaking different languages and then having an accent when they speak English. I totally get that. She's speaking English. She's speaking like English, like British English at home with an American accent. And then it's weird for me because I'm her mom, right? And so she's always spoke with an American accent as long as she's been alive until we moved here. And then I start hearing her speak to British people, and then she just instantly turn like she's. I don't even think she's doing it consciously, but she's turning to the British accent, and it's really weird to hear from a parental like point of view. Anyways, because she didn't grow up with it, like as in she didn't grow up having an English accent. So when she was really little, before she started school, she had a little bit of an English accent because she was home with my partner a lot. But other than that, it was only on a few words. Other than that, like she's always had an American accent. So that's why it's really, really weird for me. But I hear what you're saying, Neil. It is very common if you could speak two different languages. She can speak several languages. Well, she can speak a few languages. But it's also weird to hear her speak. She speaks French pretty well, and she does it with a pretty good accent as well. That's weird to hear. And also when we were in Italy, she was speaking Italian with a pretty good Italian accent as well. And I was like, "Are you my kid?" Never would have dreamed in a million years. Never would have dreamed in a million years that she would have like been able to speak a few different languages and stuff. It's really cool. Stephen Kelly is here as well. Hello, Stephen. How are you? Glad to have you. So many people are joining us as well. It's taking a long time for me to get through the intros, the hellos, but that's fine. Happy to have that. Clay Homewood is here. Glad to have you here, Clay. Thank you so much. Clay says, think the weather is bad there. Try living in the deepest, darkest North Wales. Clay, listen, if this winter has taught me anything, that I am extremely appreciative of living here in the UK, because I now live in a place where I don't have to deal with snow, like not in the traditional sense. And the way that like the northeast of America got pounded this year, and the way like Scotland, Northern Wales, Northern England all got pounded with snow and ice this year. I'll take rain. I'll take 3 months of rain. It's not snow. I'll live through it. I don't know if I could do it. God, I can't stand snow. I really can't stand it. Pretty to look at for like 5 minutes and then I'm done. I mean, maybe I'm misspeaking because I do like some like snowy activities like sledding, snow tubing. I've never done snowboarding or skiing, so I don't know if I would like them. I think I'd like snowboarding. Skiing, I don't know, might be a little intimidating, but and like if I'm properly dressed and everything, I don't mind taking a walk in the snow or anything like that, but I don't like cleaning it. I don't like driving in it. I don't like walking in it other than like a stroll kind of as long as I have time and I don't have to be anywhere, that kind of thing. Hate shoveling it. It's just such a pain in the butt. I mean, it just causes havoc. Manny says, I've already seen a lot of blossom-filled trees here in Kent. They look so pretty. Fair. I sell daffodil. A lot of daffodils are blooming right now, so that's how I know that spring is on its way. It's when I see the daffodils, which happens to be my favorite flower. And I think it might have to do with the fact that it's a sign that warmer weather is coming. That might be real. It's absolutely persisting down in Glasgow now. Meaning rain, Stephen? Stephen, are you near Glasgow? Because I know that it had that horrible fire. So have you guys seen the visuals of that? Oh my god, it's so horrific. By the way, if you feel like participating in if you have the means and would like to contribute to any kind of recovery efforts for the people of Glasgow, Simple Scottish Living, Zach and Annie have like a fundraiser. They've linked a fundraiser. I think it's a local fundraiser from Glasgow, but they've linked it in their channel. If you guys want to go take a look, I think it's on one of their community posts that they're trying to help people out there. If you guys are in that vicinity or you want to try to help out if you have the means. I'm so glad you're doing better, Diane. I'm so glad you're feeling better. John Craig says, don't know about blossoms, but we got clouds of daffodils. That's all we need. That's the sign, John. That's the sign. That is the sign. Mandy says, lots of freaking lurgies going around, and although I've shaken off my cold, I still feel sniffly. It's so annoying. Yeah, I was actually feeling fine until I went out for my afternoon walk, and now I feel crappy again. I have an earache, my throat is scratchy, I'm stuffy. I mean, I think you should see, I had dinner. I had soup and a cup of coffee for dinner because I knew I needed to like wake myself up for this show. And you should see me before though. I was like, I think I might need some coffee. It was really bad. My throat was really sore and everything. I hope you're feeling better soon though. Richard says all the trees in my street are in bloom. Oh, God, I don't understand people who like prefer winter over spring and summer or autumn. I don't think I can understand the fall a little bit. Definitely fall over winter for me. But the thing about spring is like everything looks prettier, the birds are singing, everything sounds prettier, everything looks prettier, everything the days are starting to get longer, the sun is warmer, everyone's in a better mood. Like it's just a happy time. I don't know. Thank you so much for the super chat, Disco. It's very generous of you. Appreciate it. Stephen Kelly says, I can hear my grass growing. Trying to blow the dust off the mower. Yeah, maybe it'll stay dry enough to be able to actually mow it. We were talking about that this weekend too. Richard says it's pronounced Ellisberry. 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 Is that right? Ellisberry? Goats or sheep in your backyard? No, thank you. Stepping on little pellets everywhere you go. You'll get free manure too, or is that cows? Just get rabbits? Oh my god, rabbit. All you need is one rabbit, you'll end up having 100. I'll just mow it. Actually, I don't mow it. My partner mows it, so it's easy for me to say. Manny says, your setup looks really cool. Thanks, Manny. Appreciate it. Hello, Glenn. Thank you for being here. Glad to have you back. Thank you for the generous super chat. I appreciate it. John says the setup is fine, but please no psychedelia. Have I had that before? Maybe I'll put a lava lamp behind me and Richard says I have a wall of books behind me. Oh, that's not me. That's my daughter. She's got like 4 bookcases full of books. I have some books though. The bookcase that I used to have in the background is downstairs. It's now our bar. Because we didn't have a bar. There's some books on it. Nicola asks, do you plan to have any more children? No. We had a plan to have more children at one point, but it just didn't work out. And now we're our child's, a teenager. So we're kind of at the stage of our life where we're like, I think we're good. We're good. One and done. Manny says, and now over 13,000 subscribers later, Mandy, you've made your account into a real success. Oh, that's nice of you to say. Because y'all wouldn't have come together like this every week. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Manny. Thank you. You're so sweet. You're so good for the soul, Manny. Really, like you're just you always have positivity radiating out of you. Thank you. Disco says, I noticed the 13K subs. I know, I can't believe it. Remember, we had the live where I had the special live, I think, for where we celebrated. I can't remember what I did now. It's a couple weeks ago. And that's how old I am. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you, Marja. Thank you, Stephen, for your good wishes as well. Yeah, I could never in a million years imagine. Never in a million years. It's so crazy to me still. John Craig says, I was the same. My parents were Geordie, so I spoke Geordie at home in Yorkshire at school. We used to live with a Geordie, and lovely, lovely person. But yeah, there were times when I had to ask my partner to translate because I was like, I remember one thing that she would always say "fud" for food. She's, I gotta go get some fud. Oh, it's just funny. It's so funny how accents change. Here, though, accents change from like town to town, so everybody's got a different accent. Richard says Peppa Pig is giving American children British accents. Stephen Kelly says my great grand was born in Ireland in 1888. Wow. She came to Scotland in 1902. She lived until she was 99. Jeez. Never lost her Irish accent. That's funny. Well, my partner lived in America for like 18 years and never lost his British accent. He dulled it down a bit in certain instances because he had to because they couldn't understand him. But he never lost it. And the minute that he spoke to someone like, someone from here, from his family or whatever, it would come right back as if it never got dulled down. Go to the Milton Keynes Snow Dome? What's that? I got to get out to Milton Keynes, I've heard. Marcia says some accents are hard to lose. Very true. Diane says, my mom was from Dublin. When I started school, I had a Dublin accent from being with her all day. Definitely have the Yorkshire accent now. Yeah, she was that's it, like my daughter when she was home before she went to school. She was home with my partner a lot. So she had a little bit of a British accent. It's really funny. Stephen lives in Glasgow, 6 miles from city center. Obviously you're okay. I hope everyone in your orbit's okay as well. Wow, that fire was really, really tremendous. Richard says both my parents. I missed it. Sorry, I clicked on something. 1 second. Both my parents came from Northwest London, but my mom could sound very posh. That's funny. Imogen says, love Glasgow, fabulous Victorian building that allowed the station to survive. That's cool. I haven't been to Glasgow yet. Should go up there. Manny says, I'm with you, Mandy. I just don't get those folk who can't stand the warmer months and like the darker, depressing, colder months. I'm saying I don't understand it at all. John Loburn is here. Hello, John. Glad to have you back as well. It's pronounced Aylesbury, like the ducks. Aylesbury. All right, we're gonna have a fight on our hands. Richard said, Australian wife came from the tropics and had never experienced winter before coming here. My partner had the same. I mean, obviously he's from here, but he had the same type of reaction the first time he saw big snowfall. It was like 2 feet, maybe 2.5, which is almost a meter. He was like a kid in a candy store. He was playing in it. He thought it was fantastic till he found out he had to shovel it, and then he wasn't so happy about it. But he was having a lot of fun making a snowman and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, have fun. Roy Cousin says, I call it Aylesbury, particularly when I'm in the King's Head. Clearly a pub. Disco says, I've been listening to music most of the day whilst. He did it. He said whilst. While starting to decorate. Oh, he said whilst. What are you decorating? Nothing wrong with having a bar. I resemble that remark. Thank you, John. You'll be a granny, Mandy. Super grand. Oh my goodness. Not for several years, please. Not for several years. Ian Potter is here. Hi, Ian. It's glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Ian asks, what do your American friends think of your change in attitudes about the way of life in the US versus the UK? Most of the people that I still talk to in America, which isn't that many, to be honest, but that's a whole nother story. Most of them think they don't fully understand or comprehend the differences. They kind of are still in the like America is the greatest country on earth bubble. Most of them, unfortunately, thinking that they always give me counters. So if I say, oh, for example, I'm like, oh, the NHS, and they're like, yeah, but you don't have like the top doctors. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to pay for it either. So like, a lot of them are still in the old school mentality, and they're more conservative than me anyway, so they're a little less open-minded overall. So, and they always ask if I'm happy here and if I enjoy it here, and I'm always like, yeah, that's why I'm still here. I'd be home if I didn't. Wasn't that an 80s kids TV show, Super Grand? Oh, you guys would have to answer that one. My partner might know. Steven's popping to the shop before it closes. Does anyone need anything? Green tea. John Loburn says friends moved from Coventry to Yorkshire with their 4-year-old. 6 months later, the kid was speaking Yorkshire. It is funny how kids can just pick stuff up, man. It's so amazing. They're so much better. I don't know if it's just that our brains are overloaded as we get older, or if we just become too arrogant and less, we kind of become more defeatist, like we can't learn new things or whatever. I don't know. Richard said Peppa Pig is good with rice. Oh, that's good, Richard. I liked it. Milton Keynes is the city of roundabouts. Right. I remember that. Mick MacArthur is here. Hello, Mick. Glad to have you. Thank you for being here. Diane asks, do they know how the fire in Glasgow started? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Something I had to do with the vape shop, I heard, but I don't know if that's true or not. Because it's still in the early stages. I haven't heard anything since. If you all know, put it in the chat. I'll read it out. Richard's an October baby, so you're scary. Got it. Disco says my kitchen, and I put the word whilst in deliberately. Always makes me laugh. John Loburn says, during lockdown, kids were watching Joe Wick's workout videos. Middle-class parents found kids were 20% more fit and 40% more chaff. Oh. Imogen says, my money is on lithium batteries, and the vapes started the Glasgow fire. Lithium fires are really hard to extinguish. That's a good point. That's a good point. You're right, they are. And the fire was difficult, so could be. John Craig said, had a little gap there whilst. Had a little gap there whilst I refreshed my famous grouse. Mick MacArthur says, did you guys see the guy with the fire extinguisher trying to put the fire out as it started? I did. That was funny. And also, like, I felt bad because he definitely looked like trying to put out a fire with like a garden hose, but they were trying so hard. Like, they really wanted to do something. It was really like heartwarming and funny at the same time. All right, I'm just gonna skip over. I'm gonna skip over that. You guys are making me laugh today with this whilst. John Craig says, tell them to watch the newsroom from 2014. They might change their mind. Richard says, our brains change, not maturing until the mid-20s. Yeah, that's true. Mick MacArthur says, whilst. I think it's a good idea. Diane says, I've recently been watching a program called Surgeons. As you would expect, that it follows surgeons at work and home. They're incredible. So we do have some top doctors in NHS. Yeah, I would agree with you, Diane. I don't think that I think that's just a falsehood that a lot of like propagandists will tell people in the US in order to make it seem like we have a better healthcare system than we do. Richard says, one of my friends is a urologist. We were students in uni. Not sure I would trust him. All right, let's get to some of these comments from the video, because I did promise it, and we're already 40 minutes in, so I gotta make good on my promise. DJ MJ Ryder says the NHS is fantastic. You know what? I should probably give you a lowdown. Okay, so this video was really about how moving to the UK changed my perspective about success and challenging all of my American-centric views. It's just been a bit of a personal growth journey, obviously demonstrating that simpler life isn't a downgrade, but more of a vindication of different values. And it's just the initial culture shock, but also the life lessons that I found along with my contentment away from material expectations. So that is why apparently it's resonating with a lot of y'all because, yeah, okay. We don't need to do that. There we go. All right. And apparently more have come up since I clicked on this. Okay. Feel free to give me your comments and your thoughts and all that in the chat, y'all. So William Fowles says, sometimes it's nice to watch your videos just to remind oneself to be grateful for what one has and that the nation that claims it has everything really doesn't, for all its faults and where doesn't have them. I love the UK. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that the UK, I mean, everybody, you only know what you know, right? We've talked about that before. I think everybody tends to assume the grass is greener, right? But it's not always, right? There's good and bad. It's not that the UK is so much better than the US that you have to move here. I mean, it depends on what you're willing to give up, right? You have to compromise. What complications are you willing to put up with, and what complications are you willing to not compromise on? So U778903 says brilliant analysis. Thank you. I appreciate that. Blackadder 75 says, wait till you get to France or Spain where they see the Brits and their work culture as half American. And I want to add, after having watched the whole video, you rock. You made so many great observations here. I learned new things, and I have seen 100 of these kind of video essays before. Oh, wow. Thank you. Your comment about France and Spain, I get that kind of comment a lot. That, it's even, slower and less materialistic and stuff on the continent. I have heard that. But obviously I don't have that frame of reference. So I don't usually include that in my analysis in my videos because I obviously don't have that to fall back on. I don't have any expertise in that. Peter Heath says, in the past 3 years, I have had life-saving surgery. The NHS is a profound blessing. Couldn't agree more. It was there when I needed it. The care that was given to me and the time taken to inform my family as to my progress will have my eternal gratitude. So glad. I hope you're doing better. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not perfect. And I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there have been some people that have left really nightmarish stories on some of my video on comments, telling me that they had a horrible situation with the NHS that resulted in really horrible ends. And of course, I don't want to discount that. I'm sure that happens, but the overall system is set up to take care of people as best as they can rather than leave them to their own devices, right? And so the difference in, I think, why so many Americans and British people, even when they're looking at America, the biggest contrast in the cultures, I think, is how they handle healthcare. It's not that the NHS is perfect, it's that the NHS is there to help the most vulnerable, to help the most needy. The United States system, that's almost all privatized, is just, you're out for yourself. Like, if you can't afford it, they're willing to sacrifice people's lives and let them die for profit. It doesn't make any sense to me. Excuse me, as a humanitarian. And I think that's why I gravitate towards the NHS, and I try to protect it so much and preserve it as much as I can in my capacity. But I think that it's such a stark difference in the cultures that that's why people like kind of gravitate towards healthcare in general. That America, as rich as it is in monetary in and resources and personnel and talent, still thinks it's okay to allow like tens of thousands of their citizens to die every single year because they don't have proper health care. That it just it doesn't it's mind-boggling in the 21st century, right? For anyone that I guess can get outside the bubble and see things rationally and level-headedly. It doesn't mean that the United States is terrible to live in. It's just that that's a complication that you're going to have to deal with living there. And for me, it was something I was willing to give up. Mark Sheeran says, when you say the USA, you feel one accident or one child breaking a leg away from potential financial ruin is terrifying. We used to say in the UK, you don't live to work, but work to live. I am so happy to hear that you and a number of your other YouTube contributors from the US are enjoying a better quality of life here. You deserve it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mark. Dave99 says, as a UK citizen, thank you for your videos. I know we complain a lot about your videos, but I know we complain a lot, but your videos show us how much we take for granted. And each time I watch videos, I remind myself it could be a lot worse. Yeah, that's the thing, is we always have to remember, look at America, it could be so much worse. Andrew Morton says, thank you so much for talking about aging. My mom's 88. She's going to get her pacemaker replaced next week. Sure, people complain about the NHS, but it has been there for her and for me and for my family when we needed it. And next week, my mom will not have to make the calculation, is it worth paying for a new pacemaker given I may not have many more years? That is a blessing beyond price. Definitely. I'm glad she's getting the care she needs, Andrew. And that's the other thing, is that is something that when I was writing the script for this video, I was thinking about, because like we are really, in America, we really don't take care of our aging population at all. Like our state, I know the state-run care homes here are not great, but they are horrid in America. They do not like take care of them at all. There's so many people that are mistreated. And the private care homes are so expensive. When my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and my grandfather died, so they knew she couldn't live alone anymore, it was cheaper for my sister to not work and take care of my grandmother than it was. I think that my grandmother's like Social Security check paid her pension paid her. But it was cheaper for my parents to do that, to ensure that she had good care, because they couldn't afford the good private health care and health care homes. And they were worried that she was going to be severely mistreated in the state homes. So we all had to like take those sacrifices. I would take time off of work to give my sister a break, my parents a break, all that kind of stuff. Our partners respectively would help out every once in a while as well. It was really difficult on our family, but it really opened my eyes to how badly we treat elderly people in America. They're just forgotten. Once you can't work, it's not just elderly people, disabled people, anyone with any kind of hindrance, anyone with any kind of hardship, you're done. Like, that's it. We don't need you. You're useless. It feels like sometimes when you talk about it, I hate to be so heavy, but it feels sometimes like it's modern day slavery. Like it really feels horrible. And I hate saying it like that because I know that there's actual modern day slavery out there. I don't want to diminish what they go through, but it is not good. Fred Slipknot said, we are glad to have you as one of us. Thank you. Zelama says, I even hate those nagging self-service tills because I really miss the interaction, humor, and pleasantries with whoever's working on the cash till. I have to admit, I like the self-service ones, but that's because I don't like small talk. It's nothing personal against anyone. I just don't like small talk. Tom Sadler says, quick cultural observation on the phrase, the end all and be all. In the UK, we say it the other way around, the be all and end all. I've noted that quirk over years of working with American colleagues as is standard to say in your way in the US as a conventional turn of phrase, but the origin is from a Shakespeare quote, which is the other way around. Okay. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Delft72 says, wholeheartedly agree with you. I'm in a small Scottish town, self-contained. When I park my car at home, everything I need is within walking distance. Friends, doctor, dentist, church, theater, pub, grocery, sports, hobbies, and like you, an excellent local butcher. Quality over quantity any day. A place where rescuing your neighbor's cat earns pats on the backs for weeks. Very true. I mean, I don't know about village life personally for me, but I do like having access for everything. Hank Beckman says, you did everything right. I hope you travel a lot throughout Europe. Thank you. I hope I get to travel a lot more through Europe too. Terry Ziegler says, I read a report that said it's important for us to have about 10 social interactions a day to be connected and integrated in your community and keep you sane. They don't have to be a big deal. Asking the neighbor how they are, say hello to someone at the bus stop, and buying milk at the corner store all count as social exchange. Living alone in a house in the suburbs, driving everywhere, ordering everything online can be an isolating lifestyle. Very, very true. Parts of Australia have this problem too because of the distances and spread of our cities that foster this lifestyle. Yeah, you're very. I haven't read that report or anything, but I've heard similar studies, similar results of studies. Yeah, and you got to remember, the United States is a very isolating society. We're individualists. We don't want to really have a lot of social interaction. I mean, it's all really based around work. Maybe that's part of the reason why the work culture is so important to America, not just because basically what I said was like, if you can't work, you're useless, but also that is some of the only socialization that you get outside of your immediate family because you don't even like talk to people in the grocery store or anything. I don't know. There might be something to that. Lala DePala, funny handle, says, I'm Dutch, and when I think of a life where you are one medical emergency away from being homeless, it reminded me of medieval Europe. Yeah, it's pretty scary, isn't it? Adrian Keeley says, I was married to my Californian ex-wife for 25 years. After we split, she moved back to the US, and nearly every conversation we've had since, she wishes she had chosen to stay living here instead of going back to the fear-filled rat race that was America. Yeah, especially now. It is a fact that for Americans who have lived here in the UK or even in Europe, to be fair, their eyes get so opened that their once home is never truly the same again if they go back. Happy you're finding a better life experience since you moved over here with us, my dear. Long may it continue. Thank you. I appreciate that, Adrian. And I hope so as well. And I hope that you and your ex, I hope that everybody is okay. Yeah. That's the thing is I used to get offended when people said that America was a bubble, but it's 100% true. It's 100% true. And when you start to open your eyes outside of the bubble, it's hard to, once you're awake, it's hard to like go back to sleep. You can't go back to brunch. Like you need to do something. You can't unsee things. Heather Copland said, so many retired people in the UK volunteer, and that provides communities with places and services that are really valuable for the whole community. I agree. I mean, I think if you're lucky enough to get to that stage of your life, then it shouldn't be that end. Like it should be the beginning of a new chapter, if anything. From the UK, I'm a 75-year. I'm sorry, this is Brian Powell. From the UK, I'm a 75-year-old man, and a saying I've heard all my life is, quote, if you've got a hammer, eventually everything looks like a nail. Very true. Looking in from the outside, I think that is the basis of the gun problem in the USA. Yeah, I mean it's guns are very powerful and they give you the illusion of power, but in reality it takes away your sense of responsibility that comes along with that power. But I think you've probably hit on something, Brian. Crafty Clara says grocery shops here in the UK often have ties to homeless charity shelters and will provide produce, free stuff that's reaching sell by dates or match fund community food trolley carts. I love that. And I think that is amazing. And that should be like a law or should be like a given, in my opinion. Damian Butterworth says, my cataract op was great on the NHS. Thank you, Luth Hospital. I cried the next day with happiness. I might not have if I had a bill. Well, you probably would have cried, just not of happiness. Okay. So let's get back to you guys. So I mean that was just obviously just a few comments from the several, but yeah, y'all, I mean those are really positive ones, but some of the ones I read were not as positive and I just didn't get to them. But I really think it's the other way around as well. So as the one commenter was saying about his ex that when moved back to America, that it's the other way around as well. Like I've seen it from my partner, right? He has a new appreciation for living here in the UK after living in the US for so long and being under that like oppressive environment and fear-driven environment for so long. And it's really hard for us to have conversations with some of the people here in the UK because it's hard to explain some of the things because you have to kind of live it to really understand it. And we get into heated arguments with people sometimes because they're like, they don't, they don't think it's not that they think that we're lying, but they don't think we have a full grasp of what's happening here in the UK. Like they think that our point of view is skewed because of it. And we're like, no, really, we've seen it. Like, it can be worse. Relax, please. Breathe. Let's think of a positive solution. Anyway, we've come to the conclusion, my partner and I, that we have such a unique combined life experience that it's just really hard for us to connect with like other couples and stuff like that on those levels. Anyways, curious what you guys are thinking about all this stuff. Mick MacArthur says, it was supposed to be an electrical multi-point extension lead that started the fire in the vape shop. Oh, you're talking about the Glasgow fire. Is that what it was, Mick? I didn't see it. That makes sense. So like they're using the extension cord. It was too much. There's so much power in it. John Lilburn makes a really good point about the U.S. The U.S. medical system. You may have the best doctor ever, but it's useless if you can't afford them. You hit the nail on the head there, dude. Richard says never take a drink from a urologist. Gross. Mick MacArthur said the guy with the extinguisher said it was what was on fire under the shop counter. Jeez, scary. The electric cords need ventilation to prevent a buildup of heat. That is true. I heard that because we had definitely always used extension cords when I was young. John Craig says every country on the planet has its faults. You have to prioritize what's important to you. Exactly. Well said, John. I agree with you on that. Richard says, having traveled the world, it broadens your views. Definitely. Definitely does. Yeah, it doesn't matter where your home is, where you've originated, it always broadens your views. Mick MacArthur said, yes, Genghis, you can say that whilst we all use the extensions in our home. Yeah, but it just needs to be, as they were pointed out, it just needs to be used properly, that's all. Stealth Garrett is here. Thank you so much for joining us, Stealth. I think this might be your first time with us. But thank you. I appreciate you taking a chance. Stealth says my country spends $7,000 US less per person per year on healthcare than the United States does. Are you here in the UK or are you somewhere else, Stealth? Just out of curiosity. Marsha. You guys are really getting on me about this stuff now. You can use the electric cords and having ventilation whilst not compromising security. You guys are starting to get clever with this now. Stephen Kelly says, I don't use real extensions, especially for high lows. Eddy currents can produce a lot of heat. Fair point. John Loburn says, no society can legitimately call itself civilized if a sick person is denied medical aid because of lack of means. Anurin Bevin. I definitely agree with that sentiment. Mick MacArthur said, just heard on the TV news that Glasgow Central Station will be closed for the rest of the week. That's probably for the best. But thank you for the announcement in case anyone needs to know that in our chat or watching us on the replay. John Loburn also says, oh no, I read that part. Sorry, my bad. Richard says, luckily my grandparents were still themselves until the end. Yeah, that is lucky. Stephen says it's a bust to Dumfries for this lad. Mick MacArthur says, I hope it opens up soon. I have a trip to Blackpool on the 27th for sports. I'm sure it'll probably be open in a week. It's probably just a precaution at this point, smoke and damage, that kind of damage. John Craig says, I cannot condemn the people of the US because I've met some wonderful friends there. My argument is that the top flight of US administration is purely concerned with the almighty dollar. Yep. There's I could do a whole day's worth of stuff about that, John, about how the corruption in the system and everything extends from the top all the way down. As Richard said, everywhere can be a bubble. Exactly, which is why you need to leave home. You don't have to leave home forever, but you do need to explore. You need to get out. You need to be able to you not only personally you grow and you learn and all that kind of stuff, but you can't have a full appreciation, I don't think, unless you learn. And nowadays, thankfully, it doesn't have to be a physical thing, right? You can learn and grow by watching documentaries and watching people who have traveled on YouTube and stuff. Just to be careful that it's not, skewed in a certain way or anything like that, but you can still, it's actually now easier than ever to escape your bubble. It's not the same as doing it in person, and I definitely recommend doing it in person if you can, but there's lots of opportunity to learn. We just have to want to do it and stop being distracted, basically. I don't know what you all are talking about, but I think that you guys know. You guys are talking about getting out of Glasgow, I think. In America, it's everyone is blowing Bubba. Gross. Thanks so much for the visual. Oh, I'm sorry you have that problem, Richard. That sucks. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for me today. I'm gonna go and rest my voice. Hopefully, this won't turn into a cold. But thank you all so much for joining me today. If you want to get more content and it's in between loads, in between loads. If you would like to have more fun, if you want to see some other fun stuff, definitely go to hicksondiaries.com. You get some other exclusive stuff there. Also consider becoming a member if you can. It's the Mandyverse Collective, because let's just see, like, it's cool. You get access to a lot of behind the scenes stuff, exclusive videos, and our Mind the Culture Gap podcast on Friday afternoons, where we do some reactions and stuff. So, I'm just saying, it's a pretty good time. And also, not only do you support us and our channel, so you keep us as ad-free as possible, but also we donate £1 of every membership fee directly to the Royal British Legion, which is our partner. You can also find out more about that on hicksondiaries.com as well. Oh, John Loburn, thank you so much for the super chat, getting it in there under the wire. Appreciate that. You guys are super generous. I love it. Thank you so much for supporting me and the channel. Have a great rest of your week. Everyone, fight these colds that are going around. Stay well, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.